It was the role that got Renee Zellweger her first Oscar nomination, the patron saint of London single spinsters Bridget Jones. But now, one nonsense sequel and 15 years later, she's back to recapture the magic with Bridget Jones's Baby. And also along for the ride is the one-time McDreamy Patrick Dempsey in his first major movie role since leaving the mega hit show Grey's Anatomy. Great. Okay, so firstly, I would like to know about the woman behind your accent, Miss Barbara.
Oh, Barbara Burkery.
Because the way you talk about her.
Cruel.
Yeah,
She's
you talk
vicious,
about her though she's cruel.
intimidating.
How so? How is she cruel?
She's hilarious. No, she's very strict and rigid, and then she laughs. She'll correct me sternly, and then she'll laugh. The wrath of Miss
And she's
Barbara.
Irish on top of it,
She
right?
is. She's an Irish woman who's teaching me to speak like an English lady. No, she's wonderful, but she's very, very strict, and so we meet several times, during the day to make sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing with my face.
I'm trying to work out, are you just saying nice things about her because you're a little bit afraid of her, or?
Tremendously.
Yeah, right.
Don't call me.
Blink once if you're being abused by Miss Barbara.
I'm Bridget, and this is Jack, and this is Mark.
Oh, lovely. You're our second same-sex couple today.
Patrick, I understand you said you were a profoundly different person who came out of making this movie than
Yes.
went in. Why? What changed?
I think enjoying the process of actually making a movie where there was a beginning, middle, and an end. I've been very fortunate, and I came off a very long-running show that's continuing to do well and will continue to do well. And it's a different experience. It's like running a marathon as opposed to running, a sprint race. And it was nice to really watch both Renee and Colin take the time to ask the questions and to have the time to work something out on set. And I think when you're on a network television show and you're cranking out 24 to 25, you can't ask those questions. There's no time because then everything falls apart. So
So you have to be really good.
you gotta go where you don't ask
gotta be
questions.
ready.
Yeah, right.
And it allowed me to go back and to start asking questions again. And there was something about the process that was very healing in many ways.
And how did you two meet?
Oh.
In your hometown of Maine,
Yes.
you have a centre named after you, the Dempsey Centre for
Yes.
people suffering from cancer. Why did you feel the need to build that?
I think there's a need everywhere in the world for that. I think it's complementary care that's very important for anyone who has been affected by cancer. And my mother died of ovarian cancer. She had a long battle with it. And it's still a field in which I think is very important. In our center, everything that we do is free. And it's really, we're treating the person, not the disease. And the entire family, whoever's been affected, is affected. And we're there to support them and customize that care for that individual or that family. My sister worked at the hospital, and I don't think had she not had the knowledge to navigate this system, it would have been a much harder process for my mother. And that got me thinking, okay, what about other families? And I think this is an important part of, moving forward, we have to really work on integrating that, working with the doctors, understanding what it is that they're doing, and also being on the side of, being there and being present for that patient and the family, and making them feel you're not a number, you're a human being, and we want to help you, empower you in whatever way that is.
Did she or didn't she? It's a common question Hollywood stars face along the red carpet, where plastic surgery and speculation about
Renee
who's done
Zellweger,
what.
is that you?
Is she actually denying it? She said, I have not had plastic surgery.
Renee, you wrote a piece for the Huffington Post about people being attacked for their looks, and I was curious if you could change anything about the way the media cover people in the public eye. What would you change?
I would, that's interesting. Well, there are a couple things. I'm sad that the news has become commodified because I feel like we miss out on a lot that's important, a lot that shapes the conversation that's important. And I would love to see Clever come back.
Yeah, you think Clever's gone?
Well, Snark has replaced Clever, and I don't think they're the same thing. I think Snark is just a cheap, easy way to think that you're being clever. But true wit requires a different kind of intelligence, and it doesn't necessarily require that you be cruel.
And I think what it is that it's very easy to write something down that can be very negative to someone, and you're not held accountable. Mm-hmm. You can hide behind that, and I think you have to look at who is saying that and why they're saying that and what is their issue. And that's sometimes very hard to get that. And it's a cultural thing that has to shift, and I don't think it's going to happen overnight.
If you could go back and give yourself a piece of advice on, let's say, to pick a moment in time, day one of Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation, if you could go back and give a piece of advice to Renee on that day, what would it be?
Don't fall into those trash cans that many times because you will feel it when you turn 30.
I'm going to have so much fun. I'm going to have so much fun finding that footage and putting it on. Guys, thank you so much for your time. It was a really interesting chat, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.